Okay. I hope that we are up. It should be up. Just as it's not available yet. Come on. You can do it. There we go. We are up and running. So one more thing I need for these large canes. Hello again, everybody. And in this second part, while I'm finishing the cane, if you can, in just a second, if you have any issues and any questions that you want to ask me, please go ahead and do so. Okay, so what I said that it's the last thing that we need to do for the large canes is to add a very, very thin sheet of white on the areas that we know are have a lot of translucent, because we don't want those to get lost in the wrapping, right? So remember that on one of the petals had gray all the way to one side, so I'm going to place the white on the other side. Hello everybody else. Yeah, I've been waiting for Jill to tell me, because she messaged me that she's got issues when putting her pieces together. She's destroying the texture, and I was waiting for her to tell me exactly what she meant by that. So hopefully I could go, you know, in the live and give her some tips. So on this one again, I'm going to go pretty much from the, let me just cut this ragged area, from the gray to the gray, pretty much. Okay, so we go like this. And I am so sorry. I know that Deborah messaged me that her laptop has crashed and she was trying to watch stuff on her old computer, so I don't know if she's going to be able to come back. Okay, with the small ones, first of all, again, we are going to flatten the thing pretty much in the other direction. So we want not fully, so we are going to make it askew a little bit, because we want the gray area to be on the bottom of the petal and a little bit on the side, with the one that has the most gray. So I am changing its direction pretty much. And the other thing that we want to do is with the area that has less, oh, there you go. I thought that you completely lost internet power. Hi Joaquin, did the package arrive yet? I don't think so. It's probably going to be another week. Yeah, Joaquin got some of my cabochons In case you didn't know, I started selling some of the What Deb. Yeah, that's Deborah. She is back. Okay, so on this other one we want to have the gray area only on the side. And what we are going to do, because see, this is the gray area on the one with the most gray, and it comes a little bit this way. And the one with the less gray, let me actually get it, has to be about half the size of this. I'm going to cut this one in half, and then I'm going to place this one, where's the gray? Here, like this, from the middle up, pretty much. And this will create a new petal. You're rolling it, when you're rolling it, if you're talking about the round canes, when you're rolling it, you're twisting. And it also depends a lot on what clay you're using. Because there are a few things. Number one, don't start with a complicated one. If you go both on my channel, there's a playlist on YouTube, and on my website there's a whole section for beginners. And start with the small ones, with the beginner canes, until you're able to do those properly, and then start making more complicated canes. First start making a striped cane. Yeah, they are both way too soft for caning, that's why. Cernit is definitely not a caning clay. Cernit is the best for flowers and maybe beads, and gemstones, for gemstones, but definitely not for caning. For caning you want, if you cannot get Fimo, which is a little bit more expensive, at least get Primo. And Fimo Soft, just forget about it. It's a fairly poor quality. You want the Fimo Professional. As I said, the best clays for caning are the Fimo Professional and Kato. But they are a tad more expensive than the others, so Primo would still do fairly good. It's a little bit softer than Fimo Professional and Kato, but it would still do a fairly good job. Okay, now it's about time to do a lot of reduction. And I bet you're all curious on how am I going to reduce all this. Then try with the Fimo Professional. You'll see it's a huge difference. It's a humongous difference. So see what I'm doing? I'm gently pulling on it, and then I'm placing it down and pressing on the sides from the middle to the ends, and again on the other side. And then to soften a cane, you do like this. Did you watch my 101 canes thingy, Cherry? But yeah, generally speaking, there are two places you can go. I try to arrange. I need to go and add the last videos I posted. But if you go on my channel, you'll see that you have several tabs there. And one is home, one is videos, and one is playlists. Click on playlists, because I tried arranging the videos I have posted. You know, there's like beginner canes, beginner techniques, intermediate canes, intermediate techniques. And the same, if you go on my website, you'll see there's a free tutorials tab. And when you look on the free tutorials, you'll have beginner, advanced, and masterclass. And I kind of selected them so you can start with one, you know, and then go through the other until you learn. First you need to learn the basics, how to make you know, the basic canes, like a jelly roll, a bullseye, a squared bullseye, a grid, a spiral, and so on. Okay, so this is my double. All right, and this, you see, it has more gray, so this one will go in the so-called shaded area of the flower. This has gray only on the bottom, but these are the back petals, so they will have to be a little bit shorter than the other ones. And always remember, when you reduce, the corners always have the tendency to stay behind, so you'll have to kind of pull on them. So the back petals will have to be pretty much half the size of the front ones, because you only see part of them. They will still be pointy on both ends because you have like a V shape. But yeah, Cherry, and once you learn how to make all the basic ones, from the basic ones you can start with everything. And there's that 101 on complex canes that I made, and then there's another one, caning and beading for fun or something like that. So I want this one to be as big as this one. This will be on the light side of the daisy. Sure. Get on Facebook if you didn't get to my Facebook page yet. Try to get there, and you can message me photos of what you did. I love getting photos from people to see what they did. And now this one will do the same thing with it. And definitely that middle has to be smaller. Yeah, Primo is not too bad. The only problem is with that batch of white they had. And there's another thing, whenever you have more organic canes, You can use softer clay, and one of the best clays to use for organic canes is actually souffle. But for more straight-lined canes, no, you don't want to use a soft clay. Okay, and so this is for my light area, and I'm going to do just a little bit for the darker area. That would be back petals. So I'm going to reduce this some more. I'm telling you, when I'm looking at the first books on polymer clay and the canes, you know, the pioneers of polymer clay, the canes they were able to do with Sculpey 3, because that was before Primo and stuff came around, it's just amazing. Sculpey 3 is super soft and horrible to try to make cane with, and it's just blowing you away to see what they were able to do. Okay, so this definitely needs to be smaller. So if we have a petal like this, this is how you figure out. If you have a petal like this, your middle should be about half the length of a petal. So this absolutely needs to be smaller, and I'm not going to reduce all of it. I'm going to get only half. And see, you always start pressing in the middle, because by now the middle has cooled off, and if you don't press on the middle to push it out, it's going to stay behind and the edges of your cane will just lift up. It will still stay behind some, but not as bad if you start from the middle up. And this was the uncut end with some wastage. So let's get rid of it. Yeah, I definitely used too much terracotta. I should have stopped it away. Yeah, and what you're hearing are jet fighters. Remember, I live near an Air Force base, so. Okay, now, is it? It can be just a pinch smaller. So that's good. Okay. Now I'm going to make it pretty much this tall. And this one can be just a tad longer. So I can cut it in 3. I always have to be very careful to do the measuring and all that for you guys, because I'm used to eyeballing. This end can get longer. And I know I have an itty bitty thing here, but I'm going to make more short end petals with it. Okay, 1, 2, 3.5. And again, more short petals. Actually, I can elongate it a little bit more. Okay, now, first thing first, as I start putting these in, I'm going to make little notches. So I have 1, 2, 3. This is the dark side, this is the light side. Light and this is dark, 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 lighter, lighter, and then I have this itty bitty one. Okay, so I have 4 darker and 5 lighter. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I'm going to start placing them. And see how I have gray more on one side than on the other? I'm going to respect that. Make sure that they all go in the same direction with more gray, but from the middle down, the gray will go the other way, obviously. Because we want the light to go like, you know, the shadow on the petal to go like the sun is coming down on one side. And this might look at the end. And actually you'll notice that some of them are a little bit lighter than the others, so I'm going to place those. I'm going to consider that the sun, the light is coming from there. And place these accordingly. This is too far in. get them a little bit more evenly. These need to be a little bit even more small, even smaller. Yeah, I know I need to trim my fingernails. It's a half a day affair. And remember, they don't all have to look the same. Because daisies are very not, as I said, not kaleidoscope, really. I want this one to be caught between these two. Yeah, it's getting there. It's going to look pretty much like a painting, like a watercolor. That's the idea. No, this one is too long here. Let's get this one here. And this one here. So it should be pretty much like this, and now we have to start inserting the, where's my translucent? There you go. Here's my translucent. Now comes the harder part. I hope so. Okay, now let's go ahead and condition this and make, we are going to need a very thin sheet, and then we are going to need some little snakes. Okay. Now the thing is that we'll have to have translucent in between these up to a point, not all the way in, but up to a point to kind of separate. Okay, so I'm going to get them out in little groups so I don't lose the track of what I placed where. And this is the width, the height of the cane, not the, but the width of the strips I'm going to cut. And I don't need this, I can use this. Okay, and I'm cutting it a little bit of a diagonal, but I need this one to have up to here. Then of course the little one in the middle has to have some from the middle to the middle, not all the way. And again this one. Oops. middle to middle. And this one middle to middle. As I said, it's not super complicated, it's just very time consuming. And put all these little remnants to the side, because that's what we are going to use to do the little snakes to fill up. Okay, so this was here. How do I know? Because I have a little one here and I don't have a little one here. Now let's get the next group of 4. And yeah, Fimo is very sticky compared to the other clays. Oops. Well, it's not that complicated. As I said, it's mostly time consuming. Because it's got so many steps. I'm sorry. Okay, so we get these back together, and this one needs to go in between the other one, so let's make it a little bit pointier here. And this one goes more to the top here. I got the second segment. And let's get the next 4. Okay, what did I do here? I broke a part of the other one. It will teach me to pull them apart so fast. Oops. Good thing that everything can be fixed. See, that doesn't happen with souffle. Amazing about souffle is the fact that it's so soft and still it doesn't stick to itself too much. If you place it wrong, you can easily get them back. I didn't say easy peasy. I said it's not that complicated. Stop making fun of me. So always the translucent goes on the other end than the gray, just in case you might get confuzzled. And all the grays have to face the same way pretty much. So if I have the gray there, then I'll have the gray here, but it goes like this, so it's going to be here. Our third group, then we have one more group, and that's going to have 6. Oops, I got the middle too. Yeah, super complicated cane. Yeah, you misheard. You definitely misheard. Yeah, I don't think I need the 5th, but just in case. Oh my god, it's so quiet. I can only hear whisper snoring. Yeah, we were supposed, this rain we've been having was supposed to end last night at midnight. And it did not. I feel very betrayed. But I saw that a friend of mine who lives in Delaware was complaining about the rain, and I said, well, what you got now is what we had all week, because there was this tropical storm that kind of crossed the Gulf and then went to Louisiana, southern Arkansas, and then headed straight for Oklahoma. And we had a full week of rain, nothing but rain. And not very pleasant for somebody who's got a lot of surgery scars. and arthritis. I know Whisper wasn't very happy, generally speaking. He's been driving me nuts. He's so finicky about food. Yeah, I love doing 3D effects in canes. I should be bringing you soon a new rose cane that's going to be a little bit different than all the rose canes you know. That's going to be quite 3D effectish. And before I finish this, remind me to show you what's the next tutorial on YouTube, because I'm sure you will love it. I have a feeling. Okay, this needs to get a little bit farther out. Done it. Hey, this one was zoom. That's what happens when you don't look at the bottom. I keep telling everybody, always look at the bottom, and here I am not doing it. There we go. Okay, now we can start doing the strings. Yeah, that's the... Oh, you're talking about the Florence. Yeah, I know, it's really nasty, and I saw there's a second one hitting Hawaii now. Well, I liked it, Cherry. I've been doing it since the 1990. January, to be more specific. Because before then, being in a, at the time, communist country, not a lot of Western stuff was reaching us. But once the communism fell, then I was able to get my hands on polymer clay, not just regular clay. So now we fill up all the little crevices with snakes. Remember what I've always shown you in when filling up, you know, the filler, the translucent filler, it's better to put more that you can after that shave off than not have enough. I usually put about half as much as I need. And no worry, yeah, I know we have a lot of empty spots, but they will be filled in once I make this round and we can start pressing on it. Yeah, thank you. Let's see where there's less. Now with the rest we'll just wrap. Okay. Honestly, I'm not very fond myself of Primo because it's so sticky, but it's so much better than Primo for this kind of canes. I might have to do a second layer of translucent, but we'll see how this works after the first one. Let me actually go ahead and do a second layer. Okay, now we are going to start in the very middle, so in this area we are pressing, because like this everything that's left empty space is going to fill up, because the air will be pushed out like this. Of course, we won't be able to see exactly what's going on because we have the translucent white, but I'll cut a slice and hold it in the light, and then I'll get one and bake it and post the photo on Facebook. Okay, now let me try and cut a slice without messing it up, because these are wastages anyway, so they'll need to be cut. I need the longer blade. I definitely need the longer blade. It's a little bit too big for me to cut, but I'll try. I didn't do a very good job. Let me try again. Let me actually make it a little bit smaller. Hopefully I'll be able to cut it better. Okay, let's see. There we go. I did a better job cutting, but it's not thin enough to see everything. Let me try and shave it. I just try to show it to you in the light. But obviously, until it's baked on something, you cannot really get a proper idea of how it's going to look like. Because right now it doesn't look like much. You cannot really okay, let me try and focus. As I told you, you won't be able to tell much from the slice as it is right now, but I'll turn the camera so the light will be behind it. Okay, so this is how it looks when you look at it. unbaked. Okay. Pretty much. But let me turn it. So you can get a better idea. Of course, as I said, once it's baked, it looks different than both this one or looking at it close up. So I'll reduce part of this smaller and make a little pendant or brooch or something, so you can see it better. Let me get the video back, the camera back to where it's supposed to be. But that's the problem with certain translucent clays. Okay, now let me go ahead and go bring you what's going to be, because remember I promised you that on the next I'm going to do next another tutorial with the silks, and this time I made one that has, remember the BB Craft package I got? Where's my other, I don't know where's my thing. It's made with a stencil of that package, and it's made with the Prima Marketing Sparks acrylic paint, and it's going to be made with the silks. I didn't put the silks on yet, but let me go grab the necklace. Okay, can you see it on me? It's going to be covered with the silks glaze. Let me see my screen. It's going to be covered with the silks glaze that's going to change completely these colors, and I'm going to use autumn leaf and again the love struck together, and they are going, because remember these are translucent glazes that are pearlescent iridescent. And if you saw the link I put yesterday on the Facebook page, it depends, Cherry, whatever you want to do. I posted the link to a website that has some of these on sale for $3. Some of them are for $6.99 and a few are for $8.99, but they are very rare colors right now. That's the only problem with the silk, is they are not very consistent with what colors they have out. Sometimes they have one color, sometimes they have another color. The problem is, I mean, that's not too serious because they have several hues in the same range. So even if you don't find, for example, autumn leaf, you'll find another one that's similarly gorgeous. But they are all absolutely fabulous, and you see they come in slightly different jars. The quantity in the jar is the same, it's just the jar that's different. And what I used for the leaves was the mermaid sparks and dragon eye, and hold on, I'll tell it in the video with the list of materials. Fairy wings. So I used Mermaid Sparkle, Dragon Eye, and Fairy Wings to do this, because I don't know if you can see, but there are several colors in here. And then it's the Prima Marketing Wax on the back. So I hope you will like it. Yeah, it will be, I promise you, once you start putting the differently colored glazes on top of this, it will be absolutely fabulous. So cherry, as I said, depends on what you try to do with the translucent. If you're going to use, I mean, it depends what clay you're going to use, because one of the rules when making canes, you don't use different clays. You use one type of clay, not different clays. You cannot use Fimo and Primo, or Primo and Soufflé, or you have to do it all at once. Yeah, and those stencils, remember I showed you the stencils from BB Craft. They have like 20 of them in a package that's like $15 or something. So you'll see it. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to post it today, because I'm kind of tired and I would like to take the half a day off. But you'll see it soon. If not today, then tomorrow you'll see it for sure, even if it's Monday, and it's not a good idea to post on Monday. But for the canes, just go with Primo all the way, Cherry. Go with Primo all the way. Primo translucent is a very good translucent, and it's much better than Cernit and then Fimo Soft. So just get the Primo. Okay, thank you so much for being here with me, and I promise I will make a little brooch or pendant or something with the daisies. Maybe I'll make another tutorial on how to make the brooch or pendant or whatever, and we'll get from there. Maybe I'll make a little fern leaf too. Okay, thank you so much, and I'm going to lay down because it's still raining and my back muscles are starting to spasm real bad. Thank you, and happy claying, and have a great whatever's left of Sunday. See you soon. Bye for now.